Hey guys, this is Dana with Desartisan, and I'm here today to show you how I'm going to do a reverse weeding. I use reverse weeding when I am creating and making floating ornaments using the acetate inside the ornaments. So when you're creating these ornaments, a lot of these designs are very small. This is a 100 millimeter ornament. It's one of the larger ones. And this particular design, I won't cut any smaller than what I need to do to put into that 100 millimeter ornament. Excuse me. This is a piece of acetate that I went ahead and cut. I used the floating ornament template. On that template, there's 4 different sizes of the most common ornaments that you get, like at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, anywhere else like that. And above each of the template is a size that's written in red. And sometimes when you're importing these templates or any design into um, design Cricut's design space especially, it will kind of resize the SVG, and that makes that template worthless then if it's not the exact size. So above it, I wrote what the size should be. So when you go to cut this template, especially if you're using Cricut Design Space, you're going to want to double check to make sure that that size that imported didn't change. If it did, then just make sure that you refer to the size that I have written there, lock your aspect ratio and resize it, and then double check it. And then you can go ahead and cut it. I cut this on the silhouette and I used the cardstock setting, but I did 2 passes. I think it was a force of 20 and a speed of 5 with 2 passes. So here's that. And then I went ahead and cut the design, and this is on Oracle 651 vinyl. And I realize there's a glare, I apologize for that. It's already been cut, and if you can tell, I scored it with just a regular craft knife so that it'll be easier, because I'm going to pull this top layer off and then we're going to reverse weed all the rest of it. The reason that I do the reverse weeding on some of these smaller designs like that is the center of these the center of these E's and O's is kind of hard to get to, and if there's a lot of static, a lot of times they'll jump and pop, but they'll get underneath your lettering, and then it's kind of a bear to get them out. So I'll go ahead and pull the top layer off, and then I'll put it on my acetate, and then I'll go ahead and pull out the centers of all those little letters. Before I do that, though, I will kind of take a quick look around here and see if there's any lettering that is lifted a little bit, especially the dots of the eyes. And a lot of times I will go ahead and pull those off ahead of time just so I don't lose them, because I don't want to have to cut a bunch of them. And I'll go ahead and stick them down on a piece of vinyl backing. And it's just kind of a way to save a headache from having to try to find them underneath your nails or in your hair, on the dog, anywhere they kind of tend to go flying. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to pull this off, and I'm using my mat because it keeps it stable, and it doesn't lift up, so it'll help prevent me from lifting some of the letters that I'm doing. And normally I would pull any of my designs from the top right, and I kind of pull on an angle down to the bottom left. But I've cut this design and weeded it so many times that I know from experience that I'm going to score underneath the word heaven in big, and underneath the lettering is in heaven. It'll just make it a little bit easier when we go to weed the rest of it. So I just took a craft knife and cut through it real quick. And I'm going to be careful of the eyes because they are a little delicate. Now I did design this with rounded lettering for the most part, so it's not so bad. I also went ahead, and there was an issue with the words love, little bit, and home. For some reason, when I pulled it up, there was something that was kind of funky with the letterings going on. So I went ahead and redid those letterings and updated the files on SVG Font Market, and I went ahead and updated it on Design Bundle. So if you've already purchased this design, go ahead and go back to your platform where you bought it from and re-download it, and it will be updated for you. Okay, so now that I have that completely, I'm going to be careful when I pull it up. I was a little heavy-handed when I scored that line. Okay, so I have all the excess outside off. I'm going to go ahead and put my transfer tape down. Even though I haven't weeded all the centering of that letter, I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Transfer tape, sticky side up, take your decal, place it vinyl side down. You're going to burnish it well. Next, here's a tip. You're going to pull the paper off of your decal. Don't pull the tape off the paper. That's with any decal. Pull the paper off. Okay. And I'm going to use my mat again. I'm going to take my acetate that I've already cut, and I'm going to line it up here. Actually, I'm going to move it up this way. Can you guys see that okay? So that way I know that it's straight. And now when I go to put this decal down, I'm going to use the grid lines on the mat to kind of help line it up a little bit, so I can keep my lettering straight and somewhat centered. That looks good. You burnish it down. One thing I should have said is when you pull the excess off, if you happen to pull off any of those little inside pieces and it gets stuck anywhere, you might want to go ahead and remove those before you put your transfer tape down, because you don't want to transfer that to your acetate or your template. Okay. All right, so now it's just ready for me to go ahead, and I'm going to very gently, very easily go through and pull out all the centers of my lettering, being careful that you don't want to scratch your acetate. I'm using cutter bead tweezers. They're a little expensive, but they are, for me, the fastest weeding tool that I have. I've tried all the ones that come with the Silhouette and the Cricut, and I've tried dental tools, and I've tried using a craft knife. That's probably my second choice if I had to, but this is my first choice. Okay, so you're going to pull it off. No, I'm not. Sorry. I'm going to go get the eyes and put the eyes down. There we go. When you use the reverse weeding, it helps to keep all your lettering straight so that none of your letters lift up. And having to reapply them, sometimes it's hard to make them get as straight as possible. So I'll use a reverse weeding. So what I'm going to do, actually I'm going to take this piece. I'm going to take a piece of that paper. I'm going to flip the waxy side to side down on the top, and I'm going to go ahead and burnish. And the reason why I'm using this waxy, the backing, the vinyl backing, is because I don't want to scratch my acetate with my tool. Okay, so there's that. It's all done. Now all we need to do is get it into here. Pop that off. So what we're going to do, I'm going to flip it up, is you're going to take your design. I'm going to double check to make sure that I have everything on there. And you're going to roll it, keeping this cut part at the top. And you're going to roll it really tight. And you're going to roll it vinyl side up. So you're going to roll the vinyl into itself. Just like this. And just roll it really tight. You're going to grab a hold of this piece that you had at the top. I'm I'm going to drop it down as far as I can, and then I'm going to grab that and let it go. And it's going to pop open. I'm just going to take my tool. There we go. Oops. There you go. There it is. Nice inside. It might move a little bit. It might spin this way, but it's never going to spin up and down. So none of the words are ever going to get moved. It's always going to stay just like this. Okay? So that's it. I will go ahead and finish this up and show you what I'm doing with it so you can see. I'll put it up in the group. And then if you have any questions on anything about reverse weeding, just let me know down in the comments. Also, again, I'm updating this design that's on Design Bundles and SVG Font Market. So if you've already bought it, go ahead and go back and re-download it, because there was something a little funky with one of the words in the script font. So, okay guys, you guys all have a great day.